Hi, everyone. How are you? Good. Today is like September 23rd. It's a beautiful day in Calgary. If you're in India watching this video, enjoy wherever you are around the world. We're in Calgary. This is section number one. This is for my wonderful A group who I'm super excited to teach today. They know this section off by heart. They know everything about it. My name is Paul. I'm your instructor. I'm lazy. I don't draw things twice. I draw them once. And what's really nice is that I can kind of draw this, and I'm going to make up a new way to do it, but all I really need is that right there. So I just trim that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to undo that for now. I'm going to show you a few different things of how I want to draw the next section. So I know the overall height, right? That's the top of my sheeting right there. That is my total height. I'm going to go to a different layer and draw white. I'm going to do this a little bit quick because you can watch it on YouTube later. Here's a command. So I just went to the white layer, and now I can do what's called match properties. I can take all the properties of this and put it onto that. So if you guys are doing your layers, I draw on one layer like all day, and at the end I just go and I match them all. So I don't keep switching layers. I'm always matching the layers. But this is all red, and I want you to have a different color, and I want it to be white. If the background was white, it would be a black line. So this is called like a white or a black line. It's called color 7. I'm going to take the top of my fascia like that. And I think that's all I'm going to take. So I have the top of the roof and I have my fascia. So where do I draw this next section? I draw everything beside it. So everything is a height now. So I draw it beside this thing. So now I'm going to copy this thing over. Because do I need to redraw my footings? No. Slab? No. Walls? No. I did get rid of that bottom mud sill, so make sure you do that first. If there's anything you want to change, change it before you start. And I usually copy it over like a certain distance. I'll copy this one 50 feet. So we'll do something like that. So I know my total height. I think I can get rid of everything. I might be getting rid of too much here. But I've got my fascia height already, so I can get rid of that. I'm going to keep this one right here because that's my ceiling height. So I kind of want that. Yeah, I don't need the top one. So I'm just using experience here to know which ones I need and which ones I don't. So I don't need those because I've already got the fascia height. So see that? That's my fascia. When I cut it in that first section, this next section, it's in the distance. So we'll eventually see how that looks, and it makes even more sense when it becomes an elevation. So there's my fascia height. I know that. Do I need to keep these top and bottom chords? Yes, I do. I don't think I have them on the other side because I just didn't do that side. Yeah, just those ones there. So I'm going to copy those over for now. A little mistake I made. So everything here is essentially the same. But now do you know where your roof is going to be located? Do you know how this thing starts to work? You do. What's the overhang, everybody? I think this one's 16 inches. Yeah. So all of this is the same. Nothing changes. But now I'm looking at the roof from the opposite direction. So mine's a gable. Let's call it a gable. I'm looking at it from the opposite direction. I'll go grab something here in a second, but the only thing I have to kind of do myself is this overhang. So I'm going to take this wall, offset it how far? 16. And I'm going to extend it to what? What's this line? Top of the roof. What's this line? Bottom of the fascia. So fascia, sure. Actually, I don't need this one. That one's more for an elevation. So look at this. Trim, trim, trim. Do I have my roof done? So this line, what's interesting about this line? This is a section. What's interesting about this white line? Where is this? It's actually the opposite. It's in the distance, right? It's in the distance. So here, this is what I do. Does that make sense? The bottom of that fascia is essentially 12 feet away because I'm cutting my section down the middle. I don't have a floor plan drawn. Let me draw a quick little floor plan here. I'm gonna be normal and call it 33 feet, 24 feet. Super unoriginal. I'm gonna offset this thing 16 inches. You guys want to see how to do a roof plan? Roof plan is done. There's a drawing for you. There's a free one. How to do your roof plan? Boom. And then something we'll do here. This will make it read even better. Match properties, because there you go. Why did I just do that? Because it's hidden. It's a hidden line underneath. And if I really want to do something, I could offset this thing 6 inches this way. There, now I have both walls drawn. But you really don't need to show that. You just need to show the outside. There's my roof plan right here. And I'm just gonna rotate this just for fun for now. And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna move it over. I'm gonna line it up. So I'm gonna take this wall. I want us to see what we're drawing. I'm gonna line this plan up with this wall. There's the wall, there's this. I'm gonna make it closer. Okay. So this is also now an answer key too. So I can start to check my work. See this line here? I think that lines up. Sure does. Got it. And the cool thing about AutoCAD is you can zoom in on that. Now I could also take this wall offset at 16, or I can just take the previous drawing. Oh, I'm not plugged in. Or I could just take the previous drawing and take it from above. So now I know that that's a 16-inch offset. And I think I'm all plugged in. Yeah. So I can do either. See how I did that? I took this roof, I just took a line down and lined it up because this wall is lined up with that wall. So it's the same thing. One drawing can start informing the other. I'm not going to do that because then I have to do, actually, you know what, I will do that. I'm going to leave that line there. I'm going to take this underside of fascia and just extend it. I had to zoom in a bit. I'm going to extend that. Or I could have gone back to this section and said, where's the underside of the fascia? It's right there. So I could have got it from the drawing beside me too, right? Because they're lined up. So whenever you're having trouble in AutoCAD, I'm going to walk over and say, are your drawings lined up? And you're going to say, no. And I'll line them up and then we'll start because everything informs the other thing. I'm going to erase this line and then regret it. Yep, I regret that already. So I'm going to Control Z. I'm going to trim that, trim this. So I like using the fence. I'm going to trim this. I think I have that line there twice. I'm going to trim this one. Did I show you guys how to set up the right mouse as enter? Okay, I'm going to show you on this video. So it's called options. Because I do a lot of things that you guys don't know. You guys know I use my middle finger on the escape key. You know I put my thumb on the space bar. Do we know that? Escape, escape, thumb, thumb, thumb. A warning, that's always good to get a warning from AutoCAD. So I'm going to go save this. Whenever that happens, how often do you guys save your work? How often? How often is all the time? Yeah, I'm about every 15 minutes. Whenever I kind of take a break, whenever I sit back, I'll just go save. And I never hit save, I hit save as, just to make sure it's the same file name. And here's what I do, I go save as. Right now it's on the desktop, which is a terrible place for it. I change the date every day. And now I never lose more than 1 day's worth of work. I always change the date. That's too much information, so I'm gonna trim this now. There's that roof in the distance. There it is. Your previous roof looks something like this. I'm going to do this super quick. Your previous truss did this. You don't need to draw this thing. You don't need to draw this chord. Now this chord's called a how, and some of you guys are drawing it, which you're taking a shot at it, which is pretty cool. I do draw this sometimes, but it's not super important because the engineer is not going to say, oh, he wants a how. The other popular one is a fink. So this one might be a fink. Maybe I got that wrong. I really don't care. Whatever they give me, they give me. I get what I get, and I don't get upset, just like a Christmas gift. So I'm going to do that. These are all 2x4s, and they're just coming together to make the truss. So I'm just trimming, and I'm only going to make one. When I did it, what I did is I went from center to midpoint, and then I went over here and I went to that midpoint of the underside of the chord. So it's just a dumb little drawing, but you can see how I did it, and this is a YouTube video. And white is eventually going to print really thick, so I'm going to turn that into that, turn it into red because I know red's going to be thin, and then I'm going to mirror this. There you go. I'm going to keep on the other side, get rid of some of these things. Now I have my truss drawn. The reason I showed you that is because I want us to do something from the other side. So a lot of people want to do this on this section. They want to draw the bottom chord like that, right? The bottom chord is there, but it doesn't look like that. This bottom chord looks like this. And I'm going to draw my sheeting. So every gable end, actually we're missing a couple things. What do I need right here? That's the top of the roof. So what do I need below that? I need the sheeting, right? So I'm going to offset that first, which really saves my bacon. I'm going to change the color. So the truss starts on top of this wall and goes to the underside of the sheeting. Do we agree? The truss sits on top of the wall and goes to the underside of the sheeting, right? Do we agree? The truss sits on top of the wall and goes to the underside of the sheeting. Yes, we understand that. And what's this part here made of? This will actually be a line right there. This is a 2x4, and this is a 2x4. Okay, so what does that look like in this section? 1.5, comma 3.5. Oops, didn't work. What does it look like in this section? That's right. What spacing, Joa? Yeah, 24-inch spacing, that's right. So I'll show you this in just a little sec. And I'm going to put some lines through that. Why am I putting lines? Why am I putting an X through it? It's dimensional lumber. That is now a hatch that says that's dimensional lumber. So what's this right here? What is it? Yeah, but what is it? It's now I'm cutting a section through it the other way. So what is that? But what is it? It's the top chord. And what's this one here? The bottom chord. That's right. And that's all I cut through. So I'm cutting through, let's say I'm cutting through right here. See that? And don't draw this one, like let's not get anal, but I'm cutting through that and I'm cutting through this. Make sense? So that's what this is. And they're actually kind of sort of thick. I'll go through line weights with you in just a bit. I'm going to do, actually I'll just make the whole thing gray. And then I do this. So this line here will also be a thick line. So what line is that? This thing here I just drew, what is that? Yeah, it's like that. It's like I'm seeing that thing in the distance. Get it? Or I'm seeing this bottom of this quarter or the top of this whatever. So I actually see the truss in the distance, and I'll bring a model in and share this with you in just a sec. So that's what a truss looks like. I'm going to do one little thing here first. I'm going to move it. So this truss is like open, but it can't be open. This is a gable roof. So what has to be on the outside of this truss? Sheathing, same thing that's on the outside of the wall. Thank you, Abby. And I'm going to move this thing over. So how far over do I move this thing? 1/2 inch. And what do I do with my sheeting? What do I do with that? I extend it. So now bugs can't get into my roof. And now vinyl siding has something to attach to. Do you guys understand that? Okay. I'm gonna do one little step here. There are 24 inches on spacing. This first step I do is going to be confusing. So whenever we're putting sheeting on our roof, I'm going to offset the outside of this sheeting 24 inches. I'm going to go like that and take that. So the outside of the sheeting is now offset 24. And the outside of that sheeting goes to, so there's a YouTube video, so you can be patient. Outside of that sheeting goes to the center of this first truss, second truss. Okay, so took the outside of the sheeting. How far did I offset it? 24, to the center of the first truss. And now what do I do with the rest of these trusses? Copy. How far? 24. And I don't want to go copy, 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 so I'll just do it a couple times. 24. And now I can do this. I can go copy, and I can go from the center of this one, or I just go from the corner like that. Now I can copy more. Now I can copy more. I can use the base one. I can't use this one, okay? I can't use the end one because it's offset by that 1/2 inch, which is kind of screwy. So I always have to use the first one. So that very first step is really important. Okay, so this is what it looks like at 24 feet. This one doesn't work. It's outside the building. That doesn't work. Delete. This section is essentially complete. It's the exact same thing, but I'm looking at the truss this way. Make sense? Okay, what's wrong with this section? I have to mirror that one. Yeah, you're right. But I want to do something first. How long is this section? 24, right? How long is this section? So the first one I drew was right through there, right? That was, and looking, say, this way. Is that a sneeze, Abby? Were you sneezing? Oh. This section is looking this way now. So wherever you cut this section line, like this is a section line, wherever you cut that, just make sure you cut it through the peak. Just go through the top. So it's always maximum height. But what's the difference between this section and that section? This one is 24 feet wide. How wide is this one? 33, because that's how big mine is, however big yours is. Here's what you do. What command? stretch, green box. Oop, it's going to stretch that footing, look, because I screwed that up. See if I can screw that up again. Watch what's going to do that footing. That's wrong. Nice, Abby. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stretch from here. How far? 9 feet. That's your second section. So watch this video. You guys can do this in seconds. Let's just copy a few more of these trusses. See if that ends up working out. Did I share this week that September is a stressful time because my kids are in hockey tryouts? Did I share that with you guys? He made it. He made quadrant AA. So he's never been a AAA kid, but he made quadrant AA. So that's pretty exciting. So thank you for letting me share my stresses, because it's a stressful time in an over-competitive father's life. What am I going to do with this one? Mirror. Look at you guys. I'm so proud of you. Mirror on the midpoint. Boom, shakalaka, check it. Sheeting didn't come with it. Bing, bang. If you're really anal, I might get rid of that little line there. That's your second section. Make sense? I think I'll stop there. Some stuff that we did. Options. How do we turn the right key into enter? You go user preferences, you hit right click customization, and you go repeat last command, enter. And then now the right key is enter. When you guys hit right key, it brings up a shortcut menu. Keep it if you want. I prefer it to be enter, and then now you guys can sort of work like me a little bit. I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to